lot more active and is looking around like, oh my goodness, what's going on? There's so much stuff. There's so much going on. But then some people like you guys are just real slow and calm and, you know, have really calming voices. And she just snuggles in like that. And she's just ready for a nap.
It's beautiful.
She likes you a lot more.
She's just looking around. They're just really curious. A lot of people think that sloths would be really easily broken animals because their arms are so like just spindly, and you think that they're like really fragile. But actually, sloths can survive a fall from up to 100 feet in the air and be completely unharmed. When they fall, they kind of go all 4 feet straight out, and they fall like a pancake. And when they hit the ground, they've got a total of 46 ribs that just kind of flex under their body weight. So that's double what we have. It's 2 sets of 23. And so that can, it's kind of two-sided, that really flexes, and it's like a protective casing for them, for all of their organs and everything, but they can actually fold that in half as well, to kind of curl up all the way into a little ball. They're part of a superorder called Zethorans, and 2 other animals in that are armadillos and anteaters, and all that means is a mammal with a hinged spine. So she has the ability to curl all the way up into a ball like that, not when she's falling, but when they're sleeping or resting up in the trees. They'll hold onto a branch and get up really close up next to it and kind of put their head in between their legs. Got another itch. And she can feel it too when flies and stuff land on her. She can feel it and she'll start to scratch them.
So it's not, they don't really use like how a cat does with their leg, and they won't go like this.
Not really. No.
So she just uses her hands to
Yeah.
scratch.
They can use their back legs if they've got an itch higher up on their head or something. If you take both your hands and scoop underneath her booty and kind of raise her up just a little bit higher, since your torso is just a little bit longer, that may kind of initiate her to snuggle back in. Yeah. She's thinking about it. Sometimes she likes to go into snuggle mode like that in between somebody's armpit. She says, oh, it's too bright in here.
Yeah. Get that foot out of me. There you go.
Like I said, for their eyes, they've got that rod monochromacy, and so their vision works a lot better in dim lighting than it does in real bright lighting. And so that it kind of confuses them, or can look really a lot different for them in like light, bright areas. So she does, even when she's sleeping in her hammock, sometimes I'll look at her and she's got a little hand over her face like that so she can't see.
Oh yeah. We have cats where they like to put their paw over their face when they're sleeping too.
Yeah. I think if sloths had tails, they'd probably use that tail to
Yeah.
drape it over their eyes. And the 3-toed sloths actually do have just a little bit of a tail. It's only like 3 or 4 vertebrae. And it's thought that the 3-toed sloths actually have even more moths on them than the 2-toed sloth, because when they come down to use the bathroom, it's really gross, but they use that tail and they kind of swirl around in the dung pile of the previous week. And since those moths require that direct contact with the sloth's booty, it's a lot easier for them to crawl up on that sloth like that when they have a tail, you know, swirling around down there, picking up even more of them.
It's kind of what mine does.
Do you guys have any other encounters today, or is it just the sloth?
It's just sloth.
Yeah. You guys will have to come back and visit us once we get our next baby sloth in. It'll be about a month. And then she'll go through a 30-day quarantine, but after she's cleared and is more comfortable with being around us and everything, we'll slowly start adding on encounters. And they'll only be like 10 or 15 minutes at a time to just slowly start introducing her to it, but they're really, really cool when they're really just little like that. You have to wear a really light colored shirt when you come, because if you wear a dark hoodie like that, holding onto your arm, you can't see them because they're so dark. You know, they're really dark when we first get them. It's a lot easier for a darker color to blend into the chest of the mother rather than a lighter, like a cream color like that. They're not born already with that moss and algae on them. It takes a while to develop that. So that's why they're darker, so they can just blend in like the shadows, you know, of the rainforest and everything. also got a lot of other encounters as well. We've got the kangaroo encounters, we've got baby kangaroo bottle feedings, yeah, we've got the monkey encounter as well. We've just started adding on those. It's still a work in progress because he really latches on more so to men. And if it's just women that are doing the encounter, sometimes he can be a little bit standoffish, especially if the women are like really into him, like really wanting him to like them. Monkeys are unlike any other animal that I've ever worked around. You know, dogs, like if you hype them up and you start talking to them and you want to interact with them, they do the same thing. And if you're just ignoring them, could care less, they just do the same. But a monkey is the exact opposite. If you're like ignoring him, don't want anything to do with him, you're not wanting his attention, he like plasters himself to you and just wants to be on you all the time.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because sometimes at the house, like if John's he was trying to order pizza the other night. Before he went to call in the pizza order, he was playing with Georgie, and Georgie was just kind of like, whatever. And then, like trying to interact with him, and Georgie wasn't really having it. And then as soon as he gets on the phone and it's ignoring Georgie, Georgie's like right on his face, literally on his face as he's trying to order the pizza. So it's really funny with him. But his encounters have been going for like 3 weeks now, so we're still working on those. But it's definitely, even just to watch him play around is just really fun.
He's just waiting.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
And they,
so
I mean,
precious.
it's like they use their tail as an extra appendage. And it's not like they have hands and feet. They're all hands. Their feet are like hands as well. So it's really cool to watch him play, because he can just grab and swing and everything.
Yeah.
And those chains that we have up there now, we put those up originally so that we hung signs that says encounter in process, so people wouldn't go up there and like sit down when we're doing an encounter with Georgie. And then he just thought that those were his play gym. Like he'd just swing from those chains, and it's like, you're supposed to be up here with these people. But he's like circling them like a shark around all of the chains that's around the outside of the perimeter there. But we've got the camel encounters as well, where you can baby bottle feed the baby camels. And we've got camel rides on the adult camels. And we've got the fennec foxes. That encounter's really fun. So we've got Finn and Win.
Oh, how awesome.
Hold it one more time.
Well, once we transfer over the once, that's really the only
That's
time
it.
that we
Oh, okay.
transfer, just because
Okay.
that's the only stressful part for them, is when they're kind of in air there for a second.
That's okay.
No, I'm feeling lucky I got to do what I did. Beautiful.
But if you want her to try to sit up, you may have to just kind of maneuver that one arm to try to get just up underneath her to be able to sit her back up straight. She may just be kind of sleeping. Here, I'll see if I can straighten her up just a little bit, girl. Kids always make for really good pictures when she's holding on around the neck. Once we get in our next baby sloth, that'll complete our family. Then we'll have Flash, Dash, Zoe, and Chloe.
Oh, they all run too.
And that's a lot of all of our animal names. But right now we've got 4 baby kangaroos. We've got Ruby and Max, and then we've got Rachel and Phoebe. And it's always the couples names like that. Before we had Tom and Jerry. We had Anna and Elsa or something like that. Like, we tend to go with like the Disney and younger kids' names. Then the farm tour and animal encounter is a really good option too. It's like an hour-and-a-half encounter, and you get to see at least one of every type of animal that we have on the farm. And it's not like a zoo where you just see them and you hear about them. You actually get to handle and interact with all of them. Minus the quadrumundis, those are the only exception where you just get to see them. That they are little tricksters, and anything shiny, rings, phones, anything they try to take. And quadrumundis are very territorial, but what is that word for dogs? Like a where they get something and they don't. Resource guarding, they do that a lot. So if they get something of yours and you try to take it from them, it's like an aggressive dog. And so we don't interact with the quadamonies rather than just the workers. And they, every time they go in there to get out coda, they have to take phones out of their pockets, take off any jewelry or anything like that, so that they can, yeah, because he will find it immediately and take out anything.
Other than that, they do a lot of their hunting at night, and they live in a lot of rocky desert areas, so they'll kind of stay in the rocks for most of the day to keep cool, and they'll go out and do their hunting at night when they're not as susceptible to predators.
Do you guys want me to get a picture of both of you guys there together? Yeah, let's get a picture.
So if you ever want to own one of those, just know you really have to drive around every week, just like we do. And they will not eat any fertilizer or veggies usually. They only eat live. So crickets, cornworms, different things like that.
Good.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Sometimes so I'll go ahead and have to take her.
I mean, you have just made my life. Yes.
You should watch how I set her back into her hammock in here.